Hello and welcome to the Heroes of the Storm Beta Patch Notes Preview. In this video I will be going through the important things happening in this major beta update. Now let's get this started. A major component being added to the beta is the draft and ranked mode. At this time the only ranked mode is Hero League, which is a draft ladder for 1 to 5 players. The ladder system in Heroes can be compared to that of Hearthstone, because everybody starts in League 50. Draft mode is an unranked game mode where your team starts by making bans, and then it goes through the teams in a snake-like structure for people's picks. Coming with the release of this beta is a new hero, Thrall, Warchief of the Horde. Thrall is a melee assassin from the Warcraft universe. I will go more in depth with Thrall in a later video. Along with this big update, a new map has been added to the game, Sky Temple. Sky Temple is a 3-lane battleground with temples at the center of each lane that can be captured and fire devastating beams of energy at enemy structures. To keep the temple activated, players must remain on it, similar to how mercenary camps are captured. I will go more in depth with this new battleground in a later video. Now it's time to get going with the talents. Resurgence of the Storm has been completely removed from the game. Resurgence has been very problematic, especially in pro-level matches, because all it took was for a team to all take it and then play it safe once they revived and waited for it to be up again. This was an interesting choice, but it is probably for the best. One of the other options was to turn it into revive on the spot, so that if somebody got caught out, they wouldn't just be back at base safe. Call Down Mule now has increased intelligence, meaning that Mule will prioritize repairing structures over replenishing ammo and will be smarter about which towers it chooses to repair first. Now let's start with the long list of changes to heroes in the game already, starting with Abathur. Abathur has been majorly overhauled from his trait to his talents. There are so many changes that it warrants its own video. Asmodan's Q, Glove of Annihilation, now has increased cooldown, scaling damage, and his talent for his Q, Taste for Blood, has had its bonus per kill increase from 1 to 2. Shens R, Storm, Earth, Fire, now has a 1-second cast time, during which the ability can be interrupted. This is a big change for all you Chen fans out there, because now you can't just have 3 of you at full health with no consequences. Falstad, just like Abathur, has been majorly overhauled and needs a video for himself. Gazlow's R, Robo-Goblin, has had a slight change. It no longer has an active ability, it is now a passive ability, and with it becoming a passive ability, it had to have a tweak to its balance. The damage bonus is now 150%, down from 250%. Illidan's R, Metamorphosis, now allows Illidan to mount, but the movement speed bonus when out of combat has been removed completely. Jaina's damage and damage per level have been reduced for her Q, the damage and damage per level has been increased for her E, the initial explosion damage and damage per level has been increased on her water elemental, but the basic attack damage of it has been reduced. Kerrigan's R, Ultralisk, has been slightly reworked. Kerrigan can now retarget her Ultralisk using the R key. This was probably the biggest downfall of her Ultralisk, so now we will probably see more Kerrigans taking Ultralisk. Teresk now does not have increased health and duration. Instead, when the Ultralisk dies or expires, it morphs into an egg which can be killed within a short time. This mechanic can only happen once. Lily has been majorly overhauled. This will be tackled in another video. Muradin's trait, Second Wind, has had some minor tweaks. The heal is now 1.5% up from 1%. Third Wind has also been increased from 1.5% to 2%, but the critical heal has been decreased to 4% from 5%. Muradin's E, Dwarf Toss, now has an increased base range, but the talent Dwarf Launch now adds less range. Muradin's R, Haymaker, now has a lower mana cost, which also applies to Grand Slam. Haymaker now also has a cast bar during the windup. Nova has a lot of tweaks coming her way in this beta patch, starting with her talents related to her basic attacks. Anti-armor shells damage and attack speed slow are now 250%. Nova has a new basic attack talent, unlockable at level 13. It reduces ability cooldowns by 4 seconds after Nova kills an enemy hero with her basic attacks. Advanced Cloaking has had its ability cooldown regeneration removed and now regenerates 2% of Nova's maximum health per second while cloaked. Covert now does not provide a mana reduction component. Instead, it increases pinning shot's slow amount by 1% for every second Nova is cloaked, up to a maximum of 50%. This effect expires if Nova is decloaked for more than 1 second. Nova's E, Hollow Decoy, no longer has collisions. It can be moved as a part of the base functionality, and it has 25% increased range. The talent Digital Shrapnel has been removed. Double Fake no longer has an AI movement component due to it being a part of Nova's basic mechanic now. Tacitar's trait, Oracle, now reveals all cloaked units, including creep tumors. Tychus's trait, Minigun, no longer has a wind-up. Instead, it now instantly attacks but has a ramp-up, reaching the previous maximum attack speed after 1.5 seconds. Now for the last hero of this patch, Zarya. Zarya's creep tumors now show how much longer they will be alive for. Endless Creep now has no creep spread increase, but the area has been increased to 50% from 25%. Zarya's E, Infested Drop, has had a couple talent changes. Bile Drop now does all of its damage on impact instead of over time. Corpse Feeders no longer increases Roachling's duration, but it now decreases the damage that non-heroic units deal to Roachlings by 30%. Tyrant Maw on Zarya's ult, Devouring Maw, now has its cooldown reduction on this talent changed so that as long as Zarya gets the kill, it will have its cooldown reduced, instead of it having to be in the Maw. Along with all of these changes in the beta, there have been many bug fixes, skin changes, new skins, and much more that have been added. I will not include those in my video, but the patch notes will be in the description below, and I hope you enjoyed tuning in to this edition of the Heroes of the Storm patch preview breakdown. Have a good day.